All right, let's move on to the 2025 Major Championship futures. We start with the Masters tournament. That'll be April 7th through the 13th at Augusta National Golf Club. And I'm so relieved that Hurricane Helen didn't severely damage Augusta National. They took a couple licks from that powerhouse of a storm, but nothing too severe. Golf Week reported last week that a few former Masters champions have played the course over the last several weeks and reported that the course is in great shape despite the par 3 16th still being closed for the time being. I think a couple big trees came down on that green, so it'll still be a couple more months before 16 opens up. But as far as the players and what to expect, as aforementioned, world number one superstar Scottie Scheffler will be defending and will try to bring home his third green jacket. Scheffler won it in 2022. Jon Rahm won in 23. And then Scheffler won again at Augusta in 2024 as far as the last three Masters are concerned. Ludvig Aberg finished runner-up last year. And let me give you the top four names on the odds boards on DraftKings. Before we get to my three futures picks, I'm just going to run down the list here. Scottie Scheffler is the favorite at 4-1. Xander Schauffele is the second favorite at 9-1. Rory McIlroy is the third favorite at 10-1, and Jon Rahm is the fourth favorite at 11-1. My first Masters outright future is going to be Scottie Scheffler at 4-1 on DraftKings, and the question here is, do we wait to see how the start of the spring goes at the Century and Phoenix and Pebble and Bay Hill and the Players before Scheffler gets to Augusta? Do we think there is going to be any regression over the California and Florida swing before world number one gets to the Masters? I don't think so. I think he's favored at minus odds before he gets to Augusta. You don't have to tell me how hard it is to win the Masters in back-to-back fashion. It's only been done three times in the history of the tournament. Jack Nicklaus did it in 65 and 66. Sir Nick Faldo did it in 89 and 90. And then Tiger did it in 2001 and 2002. But from a numbers perspective right now, fresh off a 9-win season, and I'm not fully bought in on this yet, but supposedly feeling a lot better about the putting than last year, I'm not willing to wait and watch Scheffler win one or two more events before the Masters and have his odds go down to plus 150. The lowest odds we've ever seen going into a major was Tiger at plus 180 going into the 2009 PGA Championship, and the Big Cat ended up losing in a playoff to Wai Yang. I digress. The lowest Scheffler has ever been was heading into a major was 3-1 going into last year's U.S. Open at Pinehurst. I'm just not interested in a situation where Scheffler wins one or two events to start the spring, and then we just don't have a chance to take him at Augusta. I don't want to be in that position. Scottie Scheffler at 4-1 to win the 2025 Masters is booked on DraftKings. That's Masters outright future number one. Future number two, and hear me out because I'm not going down the leaderboard of last year's Masters, but my second outright futures for the Masters for 2025 is Ludvig Aberg at 14-1 on DraftKings. I'm taking Aberg right now for a couple reasons. Number one, like we just said, he finished second at the Masters last year, but more importantly, in his first Masters ever, he picked up two full shots to the field on the green. So to be that comfortable on the toughest greens in golf in your first attempt at Augusta reminds me of what Jordan Spieth did at his first Masters back in 2014, where he finished tied second when Bubba won his second green jacket. As we know, Spieth went on to win the very next year in 2015 at the Masters. Aberg, who I think is far more a naturally gifted player than Spieth, he's had a similar journey over his first season and a half on the PGA Tour. Aberg got his first win last fall at the RSM, and similar to Spieth, it's taking him a minute to capture that second win, despite 8 top 10s in 2024 and moving all the way up to world number 5. Oberg has had countless close calls in 2024. Second at Augusta, second at Pebble, fifth at Memorial, fourth at the Scottish, second at the BMW. This guy absolutely brings it to the signature events and majors. And I'm so glad until we waited until this week to do the futures, because we got to watch Oberg last week at the Hero, where he finished sixth. And most importantly, it is very clear that the recovery from the meniscus surgery is going smooth for Oberg, which is great to see. I think 2025 is going to be a massive year for him, and I think he's going to have a great shot at winning the first major of the year. So outright futures for the 2025 Masters number 2 is going to be Ludvig Aberg at 14 to 1 on DraftKings. Masters futures outright number 3 is going to be Sungjae Im at 50 to 1 on DraftKings. And Sungjae was a frequent pass in 2024 after he really played some poor golf to begin the season. He did nothing in January, March, and April of last year, but that really changed when he went and won the Korean PGA Championship in May. And after that, he started playing much better golf. It was his downfall in 2023, and it was his turning point in 2024. 2024, he wins the Korean PGA, and right after, he rattles off third at the Travelers, fourth at the Scottish, seventh at the Open, and then managed to make it all the way to the Tour Championship and finished seventh on the FedEx Cup standings, despite showing nothing in the early months of the season. So you look back before last year when Sungjae was playing the steady Eddie golf that we are accustomed to watching him perform at. He finished second at the 2020 Masters. He finished tied for eighth at the 2022 Masters, and he finished tied 16th at the 2023 Masters. So he knows how to play Augusta. This is a guy who, at 26 years old, is fully capable of taking that next step and becoming a major champion. And, win on, which is quite often, win on, he has the ball striking and putting ability to really have an excellent chance to win at Augusta. So outright number 3 for futures for the 2025 Masters is going to be Sungjae Im at 50 to 1 on DraftKings Sportsbook.